Two oil tankers involved in an attack near the Strait of Hormuz, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo saying that Iran is the suspected culprit.
It is the assessment of the United States government that the Islamic Republic of Iran is responsible for the attacks that occurred in the Gulf of Oman today. This assessment is based on intelligence, the weapons used, the level of expertise needed to execute the operation, recent similar Iranian attacks on shipping.
Now, tensions with Iran, of course, have been high recently, and the U.S. has warned that Iranian aggression will be met with force. We are just learning, by the way, that the U.S. has video of Iran's military removing unexploded mines from one of the tankers that was hit. Joining me now is retired Brigadier General Anthony Tata. Anthony, thank you for being here. He is author, of course, of Reaper Threat Zero. General, this new video, the new information about the video that has been discovered kind of seals the case against Iran, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does, David, and it's just a good example of this administration using information warfare, getting that thing out there right away, trying to own the narrative when, in fact, earlier in the day, Iran was saying they had nothing to do with it and that they were helping the tankers that were attacked, when, in fact, they have been harassing ships in the Straits of Hormuz for decades now, ever since 1979, when the Shah was, 40 years ago, when the Shah was overthrown. They've been doing this in the Persian Gulf. They've been trying to destroy America, trying to destroy Israel, and which is why the Obama deal made no sense to anyone that thinks strategically about Iran. They're the #1 state sponsor of terror, and they export that everywhere, and they try to disrupt Israel, they try to disrupt America, and they try to disrupt and destroy the world economy by disrupting the flow of oil in the Persian Gulf.
General, just to be clear for our viewers, because a lot of people said, how could an attack be made with mines that are just floating in the water? In fact, these mines apparently were placed on the ship while it was still in Iranian ports with very sticky material. They put it on the ship, and of course, they have apparently now video that they can release showing that being done. So that's what was done. So what is the response now from the United States? This is a president who believes very strongly in counterpunches.
Yeah, David, Iranian frogmen go down there and put those mines on the ships, and then they get out into the Straits of Hormuz and explode. And so now what our response is, this goes back and it actually validates President Trump's earlier response about a month ago. This is the sixth ship attacked, by the way, in the last month. And when we sent the carrier strike group into the Persian Gulf, it just validates that response and all the intel that we were getting when you saw that the Democrats and the left were attacking the president, saying, you're overreacting and so forth. And it just validates the fact that this is a president who is taking preventive measures, putting America first, and is positioned. And in no way, shape, or form does the president want to go to war with Iran, but we have to protect the commerce flowing in the Persian Gulf. We have to protect American vital interests, and that's our step, is to be defensive in nature, but also be prepared to respond to anything that is an act of war.
Right. But we also have to get our allies in order, and the irony of this, one of the ships is owned by the Japanese. Japanese Prime Minister Abe was in Iran talking peace with the Iranians while one of his own ships was being laden with a mine that exploded. I mean, this was a direct insult to Abe to do this to one of his ships while he was in Iran. The president sent out a tweet saying, while I very much appreciate PM Abe going to Iran to meet with Ayatollah Ali, I personally feel it's too soon to even think about making a deal. They are not ready, and neither are we. Well, I guess the explosion of the tanker proved that.
Yeah, it's thank you very much for, welcome to Iran. And actually, this is just what Iran always does. They hate the West, and they are ruled by this these religious zealots that want to destroy Israel, America, and any of our allies. And so getting our allies together, Saudi Arabia needs to get on board, and it looks like they're starting to. Israel is always on board. Jordan and Egypt in that region are I think part of this loose alliance that is prepared to take on Iran in a way that is meaningful. And so I think we've got, I know we've got a great president that is leading the way on this. He has a very good foreign policy team and National Security Council that is also advising him, and we're taking necessary steps, bringing the alliance together and being prepared to, do strategic actions against Iran so that we can continue to have the free flow of commerce.
Again,
in the
this is a
Persian
president
Gulf.
who doesn't fool around, and he does counterpunch, whether it's against domestic political critics or foreign adversaries. So there's going to be something happening soon. General Tata, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.